up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. As always, if you guys are enjoying this series, make sure you leave a like on the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. A lot has taken place since the previous episode. Of course, if you guys missed that, make sure you check out the link to the series playlist in the description. But before I tell you guys about what all actually took place, what all actually happened, I think it's important that I tell you guys what our plan is for today. I would like to build a 3-star SR20DET for the S15. It deserves it, dude. It needs a heart transplant, and this would be the first 3-star engine that we've ever done. So that's kind of cool, right? I think that's a good game plan. It's definitely going to take a lot of work. Now, I did do a ton of work, as I mentioned, off camera already, but there's still so much that needs to be done. The first thing that I did was actually headed to the junkyard. I don't know if I got any screenshots of all this stuff. If I did at any point during me kind of explaining this, I'll try to put them on the screen. But I went to the junkyard and I bought the entirety of the junkyard. I mean everything. I bought 6 cars. This is very expensive, but we did sell the Diablo. So I mean, we had bands. I bought 6 cars. And then I bought every single junk part that was in the junk piles around the junkyard, brought them all home, and we had a lot. We had a lot of junk parts to work with. So I quickly scrapped, well, I say quickly, but it actually took me a few hours. I scrapped everything. I tore down all 6 of the cars. They're really just shells of their former self. I gotta just go to our parking so I can show you guys. We have an El Camino, a Mustang Fastback, Volvo. You guys can read the rest, but we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the alley so you guys can see what the condition is like on these vehicles now. So I had stripped down all 6 of the vehicles before I had gone and scrapped everything in the scrap bins. Let's pull out the El Camino so you guys can see just what we got going on. I can't even pull the vehicle out any further, like out of the storage unit, because it doesn't have any wheels. So this is as close as we can get to it. That's all we get to see of it. But as you guys can probably tell, there's nothing on it. So everything's been stripped on all 6 of these vehicles. Then I took all of those parts to the scrap bin. Can I please exit to the garage? Thank you. So we started with, I'd write it down because I knew I'd forget, 4,390 scrap points. That's going to be the little blue number up there in the top right. We now have 7,969 scrap points. I had to stop at 69 for obvious reasons, right? But I'm hoping that we'll actually be able to use those scrap points. I'm hoping that's enough in order to build ourselves a 3-star SR20DET for the S15 today. All right, now we've kind of come full circle, so you guys should be pretty well caught up on everything that happened off camera. But of course, since we were kind of deconstructing 6 vehicles, among other things, we now have a new skill point, or actually 6 new skill points available, and I'm gonna unlock this lucky one. So this appears to give us a 25% chance of getting a case from any old order. Doesn't necessarily have to be a story order, and I gotta say I kind of like that. So where do I even begin, dude? Where do we even begin today? I guess I should probably start by saying I've already built up a brand new SR20DET and then disassembled everything on it again, just so we could have all the pieces so we could, you know, take them to the scrap bin together and upgrade them to their 3-star variants. But if we take a look at our inventory, you can see we have every single component that we're gonna need for that SR20 DET. I gotta remember to say that, because if you just say SR20, most people are probably gonna assume it's a DE, not necessarily a DET, right? We want to be on point with things. So this engine, basically unusable. My original idea was I wanted to see how fast it was, kind of, you know, as it is around the track, but there's just no way I'm gonna put any money into this engine. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. So that's why I bought everything brand new, so we could kind of just start fresh. So the first thing I want to do is probably just yoink this bad boy on out of there. Well, we don't necessarily need to do that, but it's something that's gonna need to happen. So I suppose we should probably drop the trans, separate the drive shaft and whatnot, and we'll just yoink her out. It'll be fast. It'll be fast. All right, we're gonna lower her back down and get the crane moved over to car lifter A, and then we will yoink this bad boy on out of there, dude. See, easy. Super, super quick, super easy job. I'm gonna leave the crane here because I think we're gonna need it. Actually, I know we're gonna need it to actually put the new engine back in the thing. But we're not gonna start assembling that just yet because we have to go back here to the scrap container, salvage container, and we have to start upgrading all of the parts for our SR20. I don't want to get confused though. Looks like we have those two parts there. I know I already bought a new transmission, so we can probably scrap that, but I am going to go ahead and just purchase a new drive shaft because we're going to need one of those anyways. That way we can scrap that as well. And then the original S15 engine, I'm going to actually take into our little warehouse in here, and I'm just going to store it for safekeeping. You know, maybe we'll need some more scrap points. We'll have to disassemble the whole thing so we can, you know, get some more scrap points, obviously. Gonna get that drive shaft real quick, too, just before I forget, and we will get rolling, dude. So we have 160,000 buckaroonies left. That is all we got. Dude, playing the arcade simulator might actually help me out with the salvage parts, so that's pretty fun. If you guys missed that, that was yesterday's video, so make sure you go back and watch it. It was a fun one. I want to start with the block. Oh, also, I should mention this. I got everything painted. Everything's sprayed the way I want it to look. So when we get this thing all assembled, then we'll actually see it all together. I personally haven't seen it as one unit. I tore it down and then painted things. So I'm pretty stoked to see what is going to happen here. 1,600. Oh, no, that's the value. That's the value. That's not how many scrap points. Okay. Wow, I just had a mini heart attack. I was thinking the value was how much. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So 58, I believe. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. We just click on it. That's pretty easy. There's no mini game or anything. And then the next tier, this is how they get you. This is how they get you. The next tier is obviously more expensive. That's almost twice as expensive, I think. And even then, still, there's 272 scrap points. Just for the 3-star block, ladies and gents. Well, let's keep her going. Something else that touches the block there, the next thing's obviously going to be the crankshaft. So we'll just go through and get after it. I don't think the 7,000, almost 8,000 scrap points we had are really going to get us very far. This is going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. There we go. We got a new head, exhaust manifold. I should just be clicking through, but part of me is kind of curious on just how much stuff is going to cost. We're now down to 7,000, almost 7,000 flat. Let's get the intake manifold. I'm going to kind of hop around to each thing, each, like, big item I think I'm going to tackle first, and then we'll go through to do all the piddly bits, like the piston rings, oil filter, you know, stuff like that. Fuel rail, probably important. There she be. Gearbox, of course. So this is actually a good question. I'm not sure if we can claim it as a 3-star engine if we don't have a 3-star transmission also mated to the thing, right? But then if you go down that rabbit hole, you could also say maybe it's not a 3-star engine because you don't have a 3-star drive shaft as well. So I'm just gonna, you know what, just to try to make everyone happy, even though it's never gonna happen, I'm gonna also upgrade the drive shaft. And then beyond that point, if you're worried about the diff, that's your own problem. All right, that is totally on you. But I think you guys get the idea. We're gonna go through the rest of this list, upgrade everything to 3 stars, and then we're gonna make our way into the engine assembly room and get after it. Only 2,343 scrap points to spare, dude. That is just unreal. I cannot believe how many we went through. What did we start at? 7,900. That is insane. That's insane. I can't even comprehend that. Can't even comprehend it. So now we're back in the engine assembly room. We can get going on the engine assembly. So I am gonna do a time lapse for this. Hopefully that's cool with everyone. See you guys here in just a few minutes. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. Take it all in all her glory. Honestly, it doesn't really look like all that much. I'll be honest. Doesn't really look like all that much. I'm curious though, what's the real benefit to making a 3-star engine? Apart from it obviously increasing the overall value of the vehicle. That I know, but like, will it give us any sort of performance boost, performance enhancement, anything of the sort? Does anyone know? Down in the comments, let me know. I'm super curious. Maybe we'll find out here, I guess, later on. But now what we need to do is, of course, transplant that new engine back into the S15 so we can take it over to the dyno and try to put down some numbers, right? I'm trying to see some big horse puppies from this thing. But of course, the S15 does still need a little bit of tweaking, so there's a few more mechanical improvements that I think we can make to that thing. Let's go ahead and remove this from the stand. We'll take her on over there and we'll just get her crammed right into the engine bay. You know what? Install 3-star SR20DET, dude. 3-star Turbski and everything. I probably should have looked at what the car's value was before putting the engine in there. But let's see. Okay, so we don't have a performance parts value. That's pretty obvious. We didn't put any performance parts on the thing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can also sort of upgrade with the scrap parts. I think you can also upgrade parts that are more performance oriented. They don't have to be factory parts, I don't think. But we could have probably done that. I'm trying to make this more of a street car. And then if we want to see, you know, crazy horsepower numbers, we can always go back and change some stuff out if we need to do that. But this thing looks gorgeous, chilling in the engine bay. Went with a nice white valve cover to match the new white wheels that we fitted. I don't think I've talked about these yet. They're pretty baller. Very baller. Actually, the original wheels, dude, I think they're still in my inventory. They were 16s. Just the factory Silvia wheel, but since it was a 5-spoke, I wanted to find something else that was also a 5-spoke so it wouldn't look all that off. Let me know what you guys think, of course. But I'm digging it. I am big digging it. All right, so let's get this moved back to where she be. And then now we just have to go through and just kind of fill in the blanks, so to speak. We got quite a few grayed out parts that we're gonna have to just bite the bullet and purchase because I scrapped everything else that we had. Okie dokie. Now that we've got everything marked and purchased from the store, we can start reassembling this bad unit. I'm really expecting great things from this, to be completely honest, because why else would you make it a 3-star engine then? What's the real point, you know? That's just kind of what I'm curious about as of right now. Oh, we need some more stuff. We need all the things. Oh no, what are we missing? Got a fuse over there that I forgot to purchase as well. We'll grab one of those right quick. And then an air filter cover. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what the clips are. If they're clip A's or clip B's. I think they're... I'm just going to type clip. I'm just going to type clip. I think it's an A. I'm going to go with 4 clip A's. Come on, baby. This is like the least important part of today's episode. But it'll probably get cut. Maybe not. You never know. Maybe your boy's just going to leave it in. Clip A. There it is. All right, we've nailed it. We have nailed it. There's not too much that needs done on the underside, I don't think. I know I bought one exhaust section. The exhaust, honestly, if we're talking exhaust, this thing's seen better days. It looks pretty gross, but we're gonna throw a new exhaust section right there. Let's get our new 3-star gearbox installed as well. I didn't go custom gearing on this either. I'm not sure if the SR20 was a 5 or 6-speed. I would assume 5. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. There we go. We got our drive shaft installed. What else we got? Fuel pump, and then I think we're good. Hopefully. It would also be smart to go through and use our diag tools. Oh, no, starter. Use our diag tools and just kind of figure out what all else could possibly need replaced. Anything that's in the red should probably get tossed out and swapped in for something new. But there we go. I think that is all she wrote. Let's lower her back down. Give her one quick once over just to make sure that we got everything where it needs to be. We're going to have to put some fluids in it. I think I missed something else over here too. Yeah, there we go. Because it's not letting us put the lid or the cover. Yeah, the cap cover thing on the top. So one final relay, and then we're probably gonna have to purchase that cover. Can guarantee we don't have one of those. And we are golden, pony boy. So that puts us up to a total sell value of $58,000. If I remember correctly, we picked this thing up for, oh, it's right here. I was gonna say 9,000, but yeah, buy price right there. That's easy. They're making it easy on us. Still sitting at a 56% parts condition overall, so definitely not ideal. But you know what? We can do the fluids over in the bay, I'm sure. Let's get her moved over to the dyno, and we'll just top everything up now that we're over here. I love that this is only the beginning of the 3-star stuff, too, because, you know, if we want to follow the natural progression of things, I think the next thing we should probably focus on is making an entirely 3-star vehicle. Like, can you even do that? I have no idea, but I just feel like that's kind of the direction that this is gonna end up going. I don't want to do that for a while, though, if I'm being real, because it took, like, seriously, I think 3, maybe 4 hours for me to go through and actually scrap all those parts and collect all the parts in the first place to then be scrapped. But we should be good now. All we need is engine oil, and we'll finally get to see what sort of jam this thing's making. Alrighty, engine can't be started. Why not? What? Dude, we just built an entirely 3-star engine, and they're telling me it can't be started. Why? Oh, probably because yeah. So, there's a few gremlins in the vehicle still. I know there were a few parts missing, so just before we ended up scrapping all this stuff from the junkyard, we're gonna have to move this thing back into the garage, but just before I scrapped everything that we got from the junkyard, I did go through and just kind of poked around the S15, kind of looked around, saw what it was missing, and added anything that we could. But having said that, I think this ECU is one of those things, and it really didn't do us any favors. It's at 18%, so I'm sure that's probably a big hang up. So what I'm going to do next is just go through our tools here, our diag tools, and then we'll see what all we actually have to swap out. All right, after all that work, it looks like we have only a few components that are actually preventing us from starting the vehicle. Obviously, I'm not going to go through and change out the rear axle knuckles and suspension stuff, because that's not going to help us actually turn the thing over. The muffler could, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Can we also, oh, we can't add it to the shopping list from here. That's unfortunate, but we'll just kind of go through this list and select whatever is super, super bad, and then hopefully we'll be in a startable position. Okay, 3 fuses, a relay, and a new muffler later, and I think we're finally going to be able to turn the key in this thing and see what it actually does. Please? The following parts are missing from the car. Amazing. I forgot to put the intercooler in. It just keeps getting better, dude. Just keeps getting better. What's funny is I know I bought one and then just, for whatever reason, completely forgot to actually install the thing. Let's just go ahead and move it. I know it's still up on the hoist, not very realistic, being able to just move it back to the dyno like that, but come on, baby. Are you sure? Yes. I just want to see if it does any better than 250 horsepower. Otherwise, the only point of doing a 3-star engine build is quite literally just so the value of the car is increased. Maybe even just slightly. I'm not sure. But we'll see what this thing actually does, dude. Blow-off valve. Sounds pretty good. That sounded pretty rowdy. 237 horsepower, really? So I don't think it does anything for our, like, performance side of things, but I mean, at least the value of the car has been increased a significant amount. That's a bonus, I would assume. Well, hopefully when we go through and, you know, finish the whole undercarriage of the vehicle, I'm hoping that we see a little bit of better numbers out of this bad boy. I don't want, you know, stupid amounts of horsepower, otherwise I would have done all performance parts on the engine, but I would definitely like it to be quick, you know, zippy is a good word. So with that, ladies and gents, I think that is probably where we're going to wind down this episode at for today. But once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.